Welcome to EmployeeConnect. In this video, you'll learn how to configure and set up surveys in the system. So first of all, you'll need to make sure that you've logged in with admin privileges, and then in the top menu, you'll need to navigate to Advanced and to Communication. In the side menu, you'll need to navigate to Survey and to Survey Builder. This screen will show you all of the current surveys in your system. It'll give you a high-level overview including the ID, the name, the type of questionnaire that you have, whether it's enabled or not, the start and end date for the survey, and the record, which will indicate in red if it is no longer active or green if it is. You can also preview surveys really easily by just clicking on the preview icon as well. To create a new survey, all you'll need to do is click on the Add New icon and follow the prompts. For the purpose of this demonstration though, we're going to edit a current review. So to do so, all you would do is click on the Edit icon. You'll then be taken to this screen, which will ask you to fill in all of the relevant details. So you'll need to put in things, for example, like the survey name, and you can add it in a description of the survey if you'd like. This will appear at the top of the description of the survey of when people log in. You can also choose whether your survey will be a questionnaire or an assessment. If you choose the questionnaire, then the survey will only capture data, and if you choose assessment, then the survey will also capture the data and validate it at the same time. We'll show you how to do this later when we set up questions. You can then also choose at the bottom under accessibility whether the survey is enabled or not. If you select false, the survey will be turned off, and if it's true, it will be turned on. You can also input a start and an end date, so you can define how long the survey is open for. And last but not least, you can also choose the participant groups. Just click on the drop down, and then you can choose what security group access level will have access to the survey. Do note that if you choose something like employee or manager, it will not go just to that security group, but to that security group level and higher. So if we select employee, this will be applicable for anyone in the system who is an employee, a manager, an admin, or a system admin. If you want a survey to go to only a specific type of security group, just select the option with only appended at the end. And now this will only go to employees. Let's pop this just back to employee because we want all employees to access this. If we go to the layout tab, we have additional options. If you want to have an assessment-based survey, then you can choose how many points are required for a pass and how many points there are in total. You can also add in the subject list if you'd like, which will allow at the top of the survey for a drop-down to choose the subject type. And you can also add in a header and a footer. The header again will be any text you would like to appear at the top of the survey, and footer text is any text you'd like to appear at the bottom. And once you've made all of your changes and you're happy, whether you're editing a survey or creating a new one, just click on Save. Then use the breadcrumbs up the top to go back, so just click on Survey Builder, and you'll be taken back to the Overview page. To create your questions, just click on the questions light bulb on the specific survey that you'd like to edit. You'll be taken to a screen that shows you all of the current questions, and if you'd like to edit a question, just click on the Edit icon. And you can choose the number, i.e. the ordering of the question that's being asked. You can define a label. This just puts a generic labeling on top of the question if you'd like to potentially have multiple questions with the same label. This is really helpful for participants to understand the survey better. You can then type in your question, and then you can choose the response. You can choose the type of response. So for example, a radio group will give people radio button options, or maybe you might want a text box, or you might want a calendar, a multi-select, and so forth. You've got lots of options in EmployeeConnect. It's fantastic. You can then also choose in the list option the responses that are applicable. So for this one, we've just got yes and no. Do note that you'll need to have a comma separating your response types. And then at the bottom, again, if you have an assessment-based survey, you would just put in how many points are applicable if the person gets this question correct, and obviously list the answer. So you would need to pop in yes here if that was the correct option, and how many points the person would get. And when you're done making your changes, just click Save. Again, you can use the breadcrumbs up the top, just go back to questions to go and do it again. If you want to add more questions, just click on the plus icon. And then you'll need to go through and fill out all of the relevant information for another question, and the response, and the score section if relevant for an assessment-based survey. If we use the breadcrumbs to go back to the survey builder, you can use the preview option to see exactly what the survey will look like. This prevents you from having to log in as an employee all the time to test what the survey would look like. And as you can see here, we've got the footer content up the top. The submission date will always be today's date. And then you can see here that these are the two questions that we've defined previously. And these are the subjects on top of them. And then you've got the responses. So you can see that we created a radio group option with yes, no. And for this one, we selected just a text box. So an employee could click in there and type away. So that's how easy it is to create a survey itself and add questions to it. If we navigate back to the home menu though, we can see exactly what this would look like for an employee. So you can see on their homepage that in the notices section, they'll see any open surveys here. And all they would do is click on the survey. And it looks exactly the same as the preview option, except all they would do is click Save to submit that. And that's how easy it is to set up and configure a custom survey in EmployeeConnect.